So before I start this lesson, I want to bring some things up to you. Because, as you guys would know, your exam is next Thursday. Yes? No big deal. And you guys know that your final exam is on the 3rd. No big deal. The part that you guys need to understand is that today is the 14th. Your exam is on the 21st. Your last day of class is the 26th. Okay? So exam, 21st. Last day of class, 26th. 28th is Thanksgiving. 27th is a study day, so you have no classes. And when we come back to school, final exam week starts. You only have 1 day to review the final exam with me. Okay? So, which means, starting from December 2nd, final exam week starts, which means that you're only here on campus if you're in a study group, you're meeting to study, you're going to the tutoring center, or you're going to the library to do some research, you have a meeting with a professor, or you have a final exam to take. That's the only thing that you come on campus for. Other than that, you do not come on campus. Okay? So you're going to see very little cars here. It's not going to be like this. So that means that you are going to need to be adults and poke and prod yourself over Thanksgiving break to say, you got to study, you got to study, you got to study, you got to study, you got to study. Right? There won't be that meeting with us right before the exam. Understood? So you're only going to have 1 day with me and then a whole week without me, and you're going to be taking the final exam. Okay? Any questions on that part? I just want to point it out to you so that you guys understand what you're going into. I don't like this schedule. I hate it. I prefer to see you before your final exam. But I'm not. Okay? Now, some of your colleagues are actually taking final exam on the 2nd, like college algebra, right, is taking it on the 2nd. So literally they come back from Thanksgiving break, they got to take the final exam. So I feel bad for them. But neither here nor there. You guys at least have 1 day where you're like, holy crap, there's a final exam. And then you're like, crap, I need to study for chance final as well. Okay? So you're going to have to poke and prod yourself. That's number 1. Number 2. Next week, on the 19th, would be our so-called review for the final exam. I mean, review for exam 4, right? Okay. On the 19th, I'm going to stop and pause and say, hey, did anybody do their SOS student opinion survey? Which you guys can all find this on the left-hand side of your Canvas homepage. It says SOS student opinion survey. Everybody see it? It's like the 3rd one down from there. You guys all have it. If you looked at your school email, FSW school email, then you've probably gotten a ton of emails about it saying, hey, do your SOS. Hey, do your SOS. Hey, do your SOS. Right? It's open. It was open since the 4th. It's open till the 22nd. So I'm going to pause on the 19th and say, okay, if we haven't done our SOS, go ahead and get it done. And you might as well do it for the rest of the other classes. Now, the cool part is that the rest of your other professors are probably going to give you extra credit for it. As you know, my class, I don't give extra credit, so therefore, there's no extra credit for it. So how should I entice you? I'm going to entice you by saying that if 70 to 75% of the class participates in the SOS, I will reopen MLM. If on Monday, the 18th, I look on the site and it says, boom, 71%, I will reopen the MLM from the 18th to the 23rd. If it takes you guys till the 20th to get the SOS done, to the 70-75%, I will reopen it from the 20th to the 23rd. If it takes you guys to the 22nd to get it done, I'll reopen MLM from the 22nd to the 23rd. Okay? So the sooner you get it done, the longer it's going to be open. Okay? Now, there's only one that don't need to reopen, and that's going to be your MLM review for the final exam. I don't know how many questions there are. Has anybody opened it? 70. Is it about 70? Well, with the 70 questions, you have about, I think, 15 days, if I'm correct from the last class. So I would tell you guys every single day, including Saturday and Sunday, do 5 problems every single day. If you do 5 problems every single day from today on, by Thanksgiving, you'll probably have 5 to 10 questions left. I do believe that doing 5 problems a day is a lot easier than trying to do 70 questions in one day. Now, sad part is most of you guys are going to wait and try to do 70 questions in 2 days or in 1 day. Most of you guys will. I know that. That's not the adult thing to do, but I know that you guys are. Okay? I don't blame you guys. Right? But I would tell you to try to get 5 questions done each day. Now, the downside of that is that your MLM average is going to kind of drop a little bit because 5 out of 70 questions is a very low grade. Right? However, the more you do, the better the grade is going to go up, and so on and so forth. The whole goal of you reopening MLM is not just to catch up in your MLM, but it's more of trying to get it to 100%. So when you enter the final exam, you have at least 10% of your grade for sure, okay, towards your final grade. So that will help. So we just spoke about 3 things: poke and prod, review for the final exam, that's an MLM, which has nothing to do with my review. That's why you notice it's titled Review for the Final Exam, not optional, because that counts as a grade towards your MLM. If it's 70 questions, that means it counts for probably about 5 to 7 to 10 of your regular MLM assignments. Okay? And third was about SOS, right? So those are 3 things we just talked about. Any questions about those 3 things? Nothing? We're good with those 3 things? And just so you guys know, from my view, what I can see is how many students are enrolled in this class, 35. The response rate is 14%. That's all I can see. I have no idea who has done it, who has not. So I can't message those individuals to say, hey, get it done. Okay? However, I'll be looking at that definitely first thing on Monday because the Monday's classes are going to want to get that done. So on the 19th, I'll be bringing it up in class. But again, when I look at it on the 18th, if it's done, I will reopen MLM. Okay? So no questions from me whatsoever about that. We're good. Nothing? Nothing? People at home? Are we okay? We're okay at home? All right. And plus, oh, the fourth thing. Don't forget that I'm going to be asking anybody that is willing to provide the 3 truths, which the 3 truths is just what suggestion you would give to the next incoming students, what they should do to be successful in this class, so that you don't have to get a daily prep talk when you're entering class, which is right there. So I don't know if you guys read it or not. You guys are welcome to try to see what they give you. Has anybody read it? Man, you guys should have read it. Should I show it to you guys? And why you should have read it? Some of you guys have been with me long enough that you guys already know some of this. But I want to show you guys something that you're going to be like, dang it. So essentially, I will put down the 3 things that you send me. And you guys can send this through Canvas message. And then I will put your first name and your last initials on there. Oh, for some reason, that one didn't go very nicely. So you see Eric L. and Edison L. Read those 2. Like I said, some of you guys already know this. You guys wouldn't struggle with lab work as much as you guys thought you should have. Do you see number 3 on Edison's? Is that hard to read? I don't know how to... Can I do this? No? That doesn't help. Tools. View. Zoom. Let's try 150%. There we go. Did I hide this from you? I did not, did I? I left it right there. Now, just so you guys know, whatever they wrote, I put in. I didn't be like, oh boy, I can't have them put this in. So Edison, you get to. You guys already know the first one? Yes? So you guys already got a review for the final exam. That's optional. It's been optional. So far you have 30 out of the 40 questions. You'll be receiving your last 10 questions next week, right? Downside of that is that you're going to need to realize that it's not in that order. If I find the list, I'll give you the list so that you know what order it's in. But it's not in that order, okay? So again, I did not hide the 3 truths from you. But I think if you guys read some of these guys, all, like I said, this is all coming from students. This has nothing to do with my influence by any means. I do not tell them what to even write down. They send it to me. I copy paste it right into Google Docs. No, I'm not going to send you my Google Docs and have it editable so that you guys can type your stuff in there, because chances are someone's going to start changing words in here. So you just send it to me on Canvas message, and I will just post it. I'll see who it's from. I'll put down your first name, last initial. Fair? Like I didn't even correct this. I literally just copied and pasted. So this is coming from you guys. So again, what's your 3 truths? What are the 3 suggestions that you're going to give my incoming students to help them pass this class? Okay, Doc? Any questions? Did you wish that he would have told you? So whenever you guys are ready with your 3 truths, and some of you guys already gave me some, if you guys want to change yours, you're welcome to do that. If you guys feel like, you know what, those are still my 3 truths, I'll leave it alone. Just don't send it to me. But for the rest of you guys who's never sent one before, if you guys want to send it to me through Canvas message, you guys are welcome to do that. Okay, Doc? Any questions there? All right. Let's let you guys take the last set of lessons for the semester. Binomial theorem. We're going to be talking about binomial expansion using the Pascal's triangle. What is a binomial expansion? That means a binomial raised to a power. You guys are used to a binomial squared, which you guys call double distribute or FOIL. But what if it is a binomial raised to the 9th power? Do you want to double distribute, triple distribute, quadruple distribute, right? That would be a pain. So that's why the binomial theorem is around. First, we got to be able to evaluate this right here, which is a combination, which is n choose r. This is the operation that is on your calculator. And it's usually under probabilities, okay? And it's also in Desmos under function. It's n choose r. Sometimes you have to type in n first, then the choose, and then the r, and sometimes it's n, and then parentheses n comma r. So please make sure that you guys can find it. On Desmos, it will look something like this. It's in functions. Did I pass it? Nope. So I'll put in 5 comma 2. So 5 choose 2, and I get a 10. So for every calculator, it's a little bit different. It's under functions, it's all the way to the bottom. NCR, yep. You guys find it? It's probably under probability. Yep. So you do have to go. So if you were to do 5 choose R, 5 choose 2, you guys would actually have to do this. You have to do 5, then get to choose, then the 2. Five, yep. Okay. So on the TI, you have to hit 5 first, then to choose. So it'll be 5, the math over the probability, then the 2. Everybody else got it? You good? Okay. So notice that the entry for the TI is different from the entry of Desmos. Okay. All right. So you can do it by hand, which would be n factorial over n minus r factorial times r factorial. Okay. So obviously on the lab work, you're going to have to show that work. So you do need to know that formula. And let me double check to make sure if it's on your cheat sheet. Let me see what's on your cheat sheet. Actually, I can show it right here. Why would I show it anywhere else? The review. cheat sheet. You see your table for conic sections, second page. You see all of that. Summation. Oh, binomial theorem. It doesn't look like they give you, oh, they do. It's right there. Except they use NJ. And yes, N is typically larger than J. Because if you only had 2 books, you can't choose 6 of them. Right? Usually you have 6 books, you're choosing 2 of them. Not 2 choosing 6, but 6 choosing 2. And then there's this binomial formula. Okay? So the Pascal triangle is done in this fashion, right? It's 0, choose 0. And then the next one is 1, choose 0, 1, choose 1. 2, choose 0, 2, choose 1, 2, choose 2, 2, choose. And then the next one is 3, choose 0, 3, choose 1, 3, choose 2, 3, choose 3, and so on. That's how it goes about. However, that's only knowledge. You don't actually have to recreate this. You don't need to know that knowledge. What you do need to know is how these numbers come about. Meaning, if I was to get into the next row, meaning n equals 6, it always starts with 1, and then it's going to be the combination of the 2 numbers together. And ends with 1. So it always starts with 1 and ends with 1. Everything else in between is the sum of the 2 numbers above it. So if I could shrink this, let me shrink this a little bit so it looks a little more nicer. And it keeps on going from there. Understood? No questions there? We're good? All right. This is going to be very confusing. So I'm going to skip it on you. That is given to you on the cheat sheet, by the way. Same exact idea as this right here. But I want to skip it because I'm going to show you how it's supposed to be done. Okay? So here it is. First of all, let's talk about combination. So if I said 14, choose 4. This also means, just so you guys know, is 14, choose 4. So that's going to be 14 factorial divided by 14 minus 4 factorial times 4 factorial. So here's how I would go about doing this math if I wasn't to type it in. 14 factorial is 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 factorial. Agreed? And on the bottom, well, actually, notice the bottom has a 10 factorial. So I know that the 10 factorial and 10 factorial cancels, and that's the reason why I stopped at 10 factorial. Why write down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 twice? Make sense? So I'm now left with 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 over 4 times 3 times 2. So I could say, well, look, 4 times 3 is what? 12. Awesome. 2 times 1 is 2. We'll go into 14 how many times? 7. So I'm left with 7 times 13 times 11, which is equal to 12. Questions? We're okay? Yeah? All right. So let's say I have x minus 3 to the 6th power. Okay so far? We could do it this way. Don't write this down. Anybody want to do it this way? No? No, I wouldn't either. I don't blame you. This lab work, we only have like 2 problems because it would take you that long, right? So this is where we use the Pascal's triangle. So what I know here is that n equals 6. Wait a minute, didn't we just do n equals 6? What did we just do up top? Oh, wait a minute. We did. Didn't we? We just did. Now, again, I got to n equals 6 here by doing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to 6. Is that right? You guys can do that. But what if n was 20? Are you going to do 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 19, and 20 to get there? No. So let me ask you this. Based on what I learned here, how would I do that? How would I figure the 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, 1? How else could I do that?
So since we already know what N and R would be equal to, we can use the formula um, n factorial divided by n minus r factorial times r factorial.
Well, we got a calculator to do that for us, right? So we only need to do it by hand because lab work is telling us to do it by hand, right? But on the exam, I don't need to do all of those. But what would we be putting in the calculator to find when n is equal to 6? Go ahead.
We would insert, well, in this case, we would insert 6 and then choose 0, then 6, choose 1.
Correct. 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 So what we would do is, to get that row, we'll do 6, choose 0. Choose 1, choose 2, choose 3, choose 4, choose 5, and choose 6. Oh boy, I should probably separate these a little more, huh? Whoa. That make sense? Yes? Or better yet, same thing as if we would have done it this way. Actually. Because this is probably easier to write, right? Oh, I picked a different color. It's okay. So do that in your calculator. Tell me what we get. Do we get, let's see if we get the 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, and 1. The two ends should be obvious, right? If I had 6 books, how many ways can I choose 0 books? There's only one way. Don't choose the one. If I have 6 books, how many ways can I choose 6 books? Only one way. I got to choose 6 books, right? But choosing in between is a little bit different. Do I get 6 here? Do I get 15 here? And do I get 20 here? Did we get those? Yeah? And the reason why I just had you guys do that is because, remember how I said I was going to skip this formula because it's confusing? Right? That's what this is talking about. Is that fair? I'm telling you I was skipping this only because of this. I'm trying to show you how this comes about. All right? So when I know that n is equal to 6, I can actually create that right there. I get 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, and 1. And the cool part about Desmos, you can just delete, change it, actually on the TI too, right? You can just bring up the last entry, right? Delete the 0, hit 1. Delete the 1, hit 2. Delete the 2, hit 3, right? So it makes it a little bit easier instead of trying to retype the whole thing over and over, okay? So we're good there. Yes? So we figured out what that first part of that formula was about getting these so-called, we'll call them coefficients. Okay? So from here, I'm going to use those numbers. 1, actually I'm going to use quite a bit of space here. 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, 1. If you look at the binomial, I have two terms, right? That's why it's called binomials. It has two terms. Agreed? The first term is x. And the second term is negative 3. Everybody agree? Nobody disagrees with those two terms, right? So far, so good? Pretty easy, right? Any questions at home so far of what I did? Nada. Great. You guys ready? The n is equal to 6. That is the highest power. You guys ready? On the first term, I'm going to raise it to 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. On the second term, exactly opposite. 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. So if you notice, if I add the two powers, it's going to always be 6. Doesn't seem very hard, does it? Seems pretty easy, right? Now that I'm describing it, it's like, okay, not bad. So we're okay so far. Not bad. Awesome. So the first one is going to be 1 times x to the 6 times 1. In fact, this is going to be the coefficient of all of them, right? Over here will be times x to the 5th times negative 3. Is that right? Next one is going to be x to the 4th times 9. X to the 3rd times, negative 27. At some point, I'm going to need your help. Times x squared times 81 times x times 243. Negative, isn't it?
Yes, negative.
Times 1 times
Positive 729.
729. Okay. So the first one is going to be x to the 6. The second one is going to be what? Negative 18 x to the 5th. And then 135x to the fourth. And then and then and then and then so that is your answer. Your answer is x to the 6 minus 18x to the 5th plus 135 x to the 4th minus this plus this minus this plus this. Oh, come on, make a box. Thank you. Does that make sense? Not bad? So everything that I just did was describing what this formula is telling you to do. Right? A was my first term, B was my second term. A is starting, well, this one goes exactly opposite, by the way. This is starting at 0 to 6, and then this was 6 to 0. Does it matter? No, it does not matter. You'll get to the same exact thing. However, if you just took the way I just did it, and that is more easier to remember for you, then that's exactly what I would tell you to do, and nothing else. Now, you're going to be asked a couple of things. You're going to be asked, hey, give me the coefficient of x squared. Or they're going to say, hey, what is the fourth term of this binomial expansion? This is what I'm going to tell you to do right now. I would tell you, screw this formula. I would tell you, write this part out. If you write that part out, you know when the x squared term is going to happen. You know exactly which line it is. Do you agree? If it asks for the fourth term, you know exactly where the fourth term is going to be. Does that make sense? So to me, I would always write just this piece out and then go from there. Does that make sense? So let's say, I'm going to let you guys do it on your own. Let's see how quickly you guys can get this done. Find the seventh term of 5p plus 2 raised to the 12th power. Yeah?
We're finding the seventh. So why would you put it right there? Oh wait, that is the seventh.
Mm-hmm. This would be 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 6. So let's go down by 1. You went 12, 12, 10.
No, I wrote it bad, but 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. I don't know why it's not 6. Did I forget a term?
Yeah, it should be 6.
Why it's not 6?
Yes, you. Oh, no. No, you got the 1, you got the 12.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, that's the 6th term. That would be that. Oh, well, no. 1, 12, that's 2, that's 3. Oh, your number's skewed up. So that is 1, that's the 2nd, that's the 3rd, that is the 4th, that is the 5th, that is the 6th, that is the 7th. These numbers are not lining up with these. Do you see it?
Okay.
Any questions? No? We're good? I could have easily just stopped here. Because as I was doing this, I can tell where my 7th term is, right? And the reason why I did this is because that way I don't have to do the whole slew of coefficients, right? I can, boom, I know where the 7th term is, awesome. Let's list these out so I can get my powers right on both sides, right? So, okay. So essentially, I didn't even need this piece right here. I could have just deleted that, right? Because I can tell exactly where my 7th term is. Okay, how about this? Find the coefficient of x to the 4th for the binomial 2x plus 3 raised to the 6th power. Look at how quickly I got there. Now, the process I did these two problems were a little different, wasn't it? The process I did this problem, I did these coefficients first to get to my 7th term. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? But here, because it's asking for x to the 4th, I did this part first. Because I know that this is going to be my x to the 4th. Make sense? So then I can go and say, okay, I need, what was it again? 4 choose 2? Was that what it was? No, 6 choose 2, right? My memory's awesome. 15. Yeah. Pretty easy? Not too bad? And it's funny because I'm teaching this better and better. If it was last semester, I would have had you guys do the Pascal's triangle all the way down to 12. In the video, that's why I did. Is there a video? I don't even remember. I don't think there's a video. But I like the way I just did it now. Way better. Way, way better, actually. Not too bad, right? Any questions on the lab work? None? Let me guess, you haven't opened up the lab work. Huh? Okay. So there's no questions. Are we sure? Yes. You can use the formula. I'm not. You can use the formula. Because in my notes, it looks different, right? Because my notes looks like this for you guys that. So like here, I didn't really use the formula, right? But here I did. For me, I think the formula is more difficult. And the only reason is because right now I'm laying things out the same as I would lay out here, as I would no matter if it's the 7th term or x to the 4th coefficient. I'm still laying out the same exact way. That's why I feel like it's easier rather than the formula. But that's up to you guys. If this makes sense to you, great.
I just don't like writing out all the rows.
Understood. And that's the reason why I was saying that, you know, when you're doing this one, it becomes where you do the very far left column first. And then that will kind of instinctively get you to where you need to go. And then this one here, I would do the x column first because I'm going to know where the x to the 4th is and then finish off from there, right? And you're right. It's a lot more writing. But I think the formula is more confusing, if that makes sense. But either way you want to do it, as long as the work is shown of how he got those numbers, right? Why is the 7th term 6? Then I'm okay. Is that fair? Okay. Any other questions? Nothing? That's it? We're good? This stuff is too easy? And he's thinking, I'm just going to go on YouTube now and just look for his lab work answer keys. Oh, shoot. You guys only have 8 problems? Easy stuff. So no questions. Oh, wow, this is really easy lab work. 1, 2, 3, 4 should be, oh, wow. Okay. This literally is going to take you like 30 minutes to do. So ladies and gentlemen, please have a wonderful, blessed weekend. Please be safe. Love you guys. Get your SOS done. Later.